Hey guys, we're gonna be doing an outside video because the reason why is because this is gonna be a just cause 3 video because the reason why I'm not doing it is because the freaking stupid big fat idiot and the freaking stupid big fat internet isn't working, guys. It never does because and it's making my controller and the plug not work at all. It's really weird. I don't know why, guys. Yeah, it never works for me. Nothing works for me because anyways, we're gonna be talking about the history about the rebels and the former prisoners of the Krima rebels, and also and also the drones rebels, and also the drone rebels. So we're gonna be talking about the rebellion history, and the former prisoners of the Krima rebel history, and also the drone rebels. So the drone rebel rebellion team. Oh my gosh! Okay, we're gonna be talking about the rebellion history team. Guys, you know what? I don't understand what's going on. We're gonna be talking about the rebellion and the former presidents of the Krima rebels, and also the drone rebellion team history. Guys, I don't know how. Guys, finally, I don't know how that happened. Nothing works for me, guys. Because anyways, we're gonna be talking about the history of both of those 3 rebel teams. Because first one we're gonna be talking about is all of them. A fall field Kruger, just a field Kruger. Yeah, guys. Where'd it go? Yeah, it's definitely not there anymore. I wanna be, because if it was there, it would be chirping, but it's not. Because I'm still not. Because it's still not. We're gonna be talking about history. Because in 1804, a man named, in Mexico came back. Because the fall field Kruger or just the field Kruger came back. They're back. This man is from Mexico named Jonas Smith. He loved dogs so much. And he was so in love with dogs that one day he wanted to join the army because he knew that there was dogs there, just like the police station. And the army was called Yes. Did you hear that? There's a monarch butterfly. That was a cicada. No way. I saw it go over here. That was a bunny at this one. Anyways, Jonas Smith joined the army called Jonka. Because the army called Jonka in China. Because he loved it so much. He was obsessed with it and never wanted to be fired. So much obsession. Because Jonka was a really fun army place. I mean, they were still mean just like other armies. Because then one day they were so mean to him that they fired him for no reason. It was because they thought that they saw him bullying another troops in his team. Because he said to them 5 times, "I would never do that." Because they still didn't believe him when he said it like 5 times. And then he regretted trying to team. Because he wanted to create a team because he did not have enough money. Because he decided he really wanted to make 3 teams. Because when he does that, he said he didn't know which team to be in. And he tried to get a piece of paper and had a pen right beside him. And he wrote the names that he made up for the teams, for the army teams that he made, because how much he's obsessed with dogs and army Goose. So when he wrote them down, he gave them to woman that would say, yes, I would be the boss for both of those three teams. And then and Jonah Smith would be a troop in one of the teams because he said he didn't know what he would be yet. So because when he wrote them down, they tried to hire, and because that didn't work, so they said in the sign up that said always hiring, and that still didn't work later. So they just said, you know what, we're gonna give up, and I'm not gonna do this because. Cicada. Wait, that was a blue jay. You see that? I thought that was a cicada person, and I heard it too. Because right when they were about to give up and take the sign down that said always hiring, a customer came. And he said, I'm actually kind of interested in this. And then they said, oh. And then he quietly said to the woman that right when we were about to give up, a customer came. Not funny. And they both chuckled while it happened. Because later on he forgot to actually introduce himself and actually forgot to ask who the lady's name is. How is that insane? Because they found out that the lady's name is Dima, and then he told Dima his name, Jonah Smith. So yeah, and then right when they found out, they wrote both of the names. The first one was the rebellion team, perfect, because it was so great that a lot of people was in the team. Like there was tons of rebels there, and because their troops were called rebels. That's what he wanted to do. And Dima was the boss. And as Jonah Smith became loving the team so much, they still had trouble making the two other teams called the former prisoners of the Krima and the drone rebellion team. Because the drone rebellion team actually was the last team they've made. And because they made it stay that way forever. You hear that? You hear that blue jay? You hear that blue jay? Because yeah, I'm gonna put it out. I don't know, all distractions when I'm talking about the history of these three teams. On just cause three. So because and then they finally had two customers in the team called Former Prisoners of the Krima Goose. And Goose, they were happy about it. And then a couple of weeks later, they had 1,001 troops in the army. And they were all rebels too. So Goose, yeah. And then last but not least, they actually had some troops coming into the team called the Drones Rebellion Team, which is very similar to the regular rebellion team. Even though there's a team called the Former Prisoners of the Krima, also similar, because not similar enough, because they still loved it. Because it was actually their costumes were way different. And the rebels were white, and the Former Prisoners of the Krima were yellow. It's close to orange, which is good. Because, and then the opposite came to each other. The two teams, the rebels and the drone rebellion team. So because the drone rebellion team is the opposite. It had blue, just like it wasn't supposed to have. And because it was just like in common, like it was going to be in the future for the rebel team, just the regular one. And because later, and then everything was going great when they decided, actually, I want this to be the last change, said Jonah Smith. Said that actually Dima said. And because Jonah Smith and all the rebels in the three teams agreed with the idea that they wouldn't change the outfits. The rebels blue, the the drone rebellion team white, which was it is today. And then the former president of Ukraine orange, since it's similar to your last color called yellow, Sedima. And because all the rebels agreed, because then it came, and then a different year, 1901. Since they kind of had a little bit of electricity back then, they decided to try to invented something called robots, which are, and because this was not any of the rebels' ideas, it was this company, this toy store company, and they loved it. Because the toy store company came up with this thing called robots, and they found out about it, so they decided to make. Since drones are automatic, that means that we can make the drone rebellion team robots. They decided to make the rebellion drone rebel troops. As you know, they decided to make the drone rebellion troops return to go actually to the regular rebellion troops team since they found out what to do for the drone rebellion team. They decided to make robot rebels. They got robots from the toy store that they heard about that decided to invent something called robots. And because they got the parts of it, and because luckily they had a lot of money since they had tons of rebels there. And because they started to become rich. And because rich back then was $12, which is insane, right? Because right now it goes up higher than goose. Because yeah, it's just crazy. And because the robots were $12, which is good. Which is actually kind of bad. It's because they already had $12. Because because they got and because they made them taller. They made them taller. Because they made the rebel robot for the drone rebellion team taller, so it will be not looking like a toy robot goose. It's because they turn into taller, higher and stuff like that, and longer. And because then they connected it to the drones and made the robots to turn into the batteries for the drones. And because they didn't make them remote control, because it was not a remote control drone. It was a drive itself drone. So because the robots were supposed to be the battery that would drive for itself. And because it had a super cool technique that it controls it by itself, and because it has security cameras connected to it so it could see where it's going. So it could be one of the most smartest rebel products they ever created in their lives. Which is one of the most special ideas. And all the rebels in the whole kingdom that they have were so proud of themselves for helping create the new version of rebels. And the team called Drones Rebellion Team. The Drone Rebellion Team. And because now it came up to be 1999, and they had tons of money. They already had $20, and because they were gonna get more, because then the started to get to the New Year's, which is 2000. So because 2000 became a way better year than they expected it to be, Goose, and any other years they ever expected it to be. So because, as I said before, because I said repeating myself, because I was just saying in case you guys forgot, because in 2000 they got more money and paid a lot of dollars so they can donate to the poor, so they can help us. Because they decided to make a lot of money and got money, give money to the poor, and then those poor people, since they got a lot of money from the rebel system itself, and they were interested in being in the army, and because these rebel armies were one of the best armies in the world, because then their whole lives of having a rebel system was actually crazy, because they didn't know, and this team didn't know either, that there was a bad team coming across them, Goose, called the DRM and the Akan and the Eden Army, and the Eden Army was similar to the Drone Rebellion Team. So which is absolutely insane. And they tried to steal all of it, all of the rebels, and they did, which was absolutely horrible. And they lose so much hope, Goose. And that's when a family named Rico Rodriguez came. And he was a cute little kid. When he was 5 years old, though, his parents died because of the DRM and the Black Hand Army and the Eden Army trying to destroy everybody they see for no reason. Just like the Junkos team that Jonas Smith was in a long time ago before he even made the teams called the Rebellion team and the former prisoners of the Crema team and the Drone Rebellion team, which is absolutely insane. It was the school that he went, and the school that Rico Rodriguez went to was called Magusa. Magusa was a school, an ordinary school, and it was a school only for young classes, his age. So, and it has 400 students in there, which is absolutely insane, just like the other information I told you about, and that was also absolutely insane as well. As you Googles can tell. And then Rico was still sad and thinking about the dead parents of his. And he cried about it in school. And kids made fun of him because he didn't have any parents. And he was crying and they called him Crybaby, which was so sad, Goose. And the teacher and some other kids that stood up for him felt bad and started crying because they felt bad for him, Goose. And they did not want Rico Rodriguez to be bullied. And he started working out in a gym that just started happening. And then in the age of 8 he started working out because he wanted to defeat his bullies. When he found out something that would be even better, he wanted to talk to other strong people. So he figured out something called the Army and that he's been interested into. And he decided to check out some army on the internet. And it was 2012 when he started doing this. And because actually absolutely something happened. He decided to go to one of the armies that Jonas Smith and Dima figured out for each other, which is absolutely insane. And he came across bunch of these teenagers in the rebels, and he loved it. He was 13 when he joined the army called the Rebellion team, and they were always so nice to him. Never gave up on his dreams, and he had the best life of his life. And then they celebrated his birthday. He turned 14. Congratulations, Rico Rodriguez. And he turned 14 years old. And people started to call him Rodriguez instead of Rico. But then they changed it and over again. And it turned into a funny hot mess. So you can just call it something like that. Because he loved joining the army. And he sometimes visited with the rebels, the teams called the former prisoners of the Crema, and the Drone Rebellion team. And it was really fun for him. And then the day when he turned 25, a couple of years later, he still had so much fun and never stopped doing his dreams. And this was so much fun for him. See, it was. And that's the whole story of the 3 teams in Just Cause 3.